Anyway, Entertaining Disasters, a novel with recipes by Nancy Spiller. And she's a writer and artist living in Los Angeles, and she's here with us today, Napa. Thank you very much. And why a novel, which in many ways is a reminiscence of the character's mother and family life, is it with recipes?
Well, the recipes, it sort of was natural because the subject matter deals with a food writer in Los Angeles, which I happen to be at some point in my life as a journalist in Los Angeles. I'm currently a recovering journalist in Los Angeles. And it's a novel with recipes because I wanted, after I finished it, I went through and I wanted to include some recipes, and then I decided to end every chapter with a recipe. And it was really fun because I was basically finished with the novel, and then I got to decide what recipes I wanted to put in at the end of each chapter. And so they sort of became a language all of their own. So say I have a recipe for opera cake in there, because I feel like that's sort of the start of kind of the more serious things going on in the book. It's sort of the start of, you know, the opera phase of the novel. But I give the list of ingredients for the opera cake, which sort of go on forever. And then I refuse to give the directions on how to make it. Because I don't think anybody should do it at home. I think you should just go find a really good version of an opera cake at a great bakery, and then every time you need to have a piece of opera cake, you just take yourself there, and you have a nice piece of opera cake.
So you want to outsource that experience? This is a center of appreciation of food and wine. And certainly in Los Angeles, the food and wine scene, as you depict it, is a sort of celebrity-riven. It has, there are chefs, there are, big name guests. I mean, it puts a lot of pressure on a host or a hostess of a dinner party.
It does. Well, the thing is, that's why my narrator basically is making them up, because unless you are a celebrity or you can get a celebrity to come to your dinner party in Los Angeles, it's really, really tough to get anybody to come.
So that says something more about the sort of the Los Angeles dining scene. But I mean, one of the aspects of a dinner party, though, is that it's a gathering of people. It's a conversation. It's a chance for people to sit at a table and talk and enjoy one another's company.
It is, but in Los Angeles, it's if there are celebrities present, basically you end up talking about the celebrities who are present. And then if there aren't celebrities present, you talk about the fact there aren't any celebrities present. So it kind of like skews things kind of in a difficult direction.
How did you start being a food writer?
Well, I got tired of writing about celebrities. Because I was...
It's tougher for food to stand you up, too.
It is. The food...
And the character's mother plays an important role in this book, and not only about artichokes, but the way to raise a family and hold a family together.
Yes, because the mother in the book actually was challenged on that front, so she didn't quite succeed at doing it. And also, she was a suburban housewife in the 1950s and 60s, which women in those days suffered a certain amount of isolation and mental anguish over that situation. And that's one of the reasons I wanted to do the book, was sort of investigate that. And I did research into it about the epidemic of mental illness amongst women in the suburbs of the 1950s and 60s. And it was really interesting. Like the narrator in the book, I grew up in the San Francisco Bay Area over in the East Bay, and the one long-term study that I found on this subject matter about women and mental illness was done in the San Francisco Bay Area in the 1950s and 60s, a long-term study, and they followed up with the cases through the 1970s, and I think the book was published in the early 80s.
What did the study reveal?
Well, it revealed that the women did suffer from the isolation. I mean, the suburbs were really a post-war phenomenon, and the families moved out to them, and they weren't at that point, they weren't two-car families. It was one car. Women basically were staying at home with the children, and it wasn't typical that women were working outside the home. And then, there was the whole wave of divorce. So, in that period, women were given the house and the children, and the men went on and started another life. So that was, that wasn't necessarily a perfect situation for the women or for the children either. And it's changed, it's changed very much. I mean, I think that, as a society, we are adapting to these things, and we've learned better ways to cope. And the thing is that one of the recipes that I do like to do for people, introduce them to this, is Mom's garlic cream cheese dip, which is heart attack city, but it's cream cheese, it's butter, a stick of butter, and mayonnaise, and then about 3 or 4 cloves of garlic. And the thing is that it looks as bland as the suburbs, but it just packs a real wallop that stays with you for quite a while.
I think you've just written your book blurb. The book is called Entertaining Disasters, a novel with recipes by Nancy Spiller, published by Counterpoint. Right here, there. Thank you very much for being on.